Yesterday we talked about the movie Sound of Freedom, which is about child abduction and abuse. Terrible things like these happen every day. Many girls and women are abused or raped in cities, villages, at home, around the world, in the dark or even in broad daylight, every day. Civil courage could help. However, it's also good to be able to defend yourself. But how is that supposed to work as a woman against a strong man? In the 90s, the action star Steven Seagal showed a way to follow the path of harmony in interaction with energy, or for short, Aikido. His movements and dominance thrilled and inspired many people. And even though his films are filled with violence, he has still contributed a lot to the popularity of Aikido, as well as to recognize that the real goal is to overcome yourself, instead of relying on violence and aggressiveness. That's why we are following the invitation of Sensei Christiane Graef to her Aikido dojo today, to look over the students' shoulders, or maybe to be thrown over them, carefully of course.
Jetzt bist du in der Pflicht abzuliefern.
Ja, habe ich ja auch schon gesagt, jetzt muss ja.
Aikido isn't just a sport, but a complex system of human self-defense, which attaches just as much importance to protect the defender from injuries and the attacker as well. Sensei Christiane Graef gives us a quick glimpse into Aikido, which main principles are entering, breathing control, and turning.
Dann geht es nach unten. Also über einen gestreckten Arm geht es nach unten. Und wenn sie es schafft, flexibel zu sein, dann dürfen wir uns gemeinsam bewegen. Alles gut. Okay.
A lot of things start in the head. Christiane explains to us that at some point we can feel it in everyday life when we are in harmony with the world and the things surrounding us, even if we can't see them.
Wenn euch jemand so greift, dass ihr ganz easy aus der Nummer rauskommt. So komme ich nicht raus. Oh, sorry. Das geht nicht. Wenn der gut greift, komme ich so nicht raus. Aber wenn ich vorher den Griff auf eine bestimmte Art und Weise löse, bin ich raus aus der Nummer.
So, David, how old are you?
I'm 18 now.
18 years, okay. So you're still in school?
Yes,
Okay.
in the last year. It's a lot of workload, I think, and managing it parallelly with the Aikido training is sometimes hard because I rather want to train Aikido often a week. So I have the opportunity to do it like 4 times a week.
Yes.
And I'd love that, but I don't really have the time or the energy to do that. So usually it's more like 1 to 3 times a week. So that's a bit sad, but it's manageable.
Do you also have other hobbies?
Yes, I do drama classes.
So that's completely different that you talk a lot. And
It's not that different actually. So in Aikido you basically know what's going to happen and you're very relaxed and face that attack basically with that relaxed energy and move the energy of the attack elsewhere. And in acting or drama, it depends on what you do. I do improvisation, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I have to be open for whatever's going to happen, and I just adapt to whatever happens.
do you know what you want to do later, after school?
I have several ideas. I could imagine teaching Aikido, maybe just for financing the university or something. I don't really know if I want to study, but maybe something with art or also with acting. I could also imagine acting, but again, not really as a full-time job because I think you have to really commit yourself to it and put a lot of energy into it to actually get successful. And don't really want to be famous either, so it's really hard.
Yeah, I got the perfect job for you. You can become a stuntman.
Yes, I thought about that
Yeah.
actually too. But on the one hand, it's rather dangerous, and I don't have the fittest and healthiest body, even it looks like it.
Oh.
I know it looks.
He looks healthy.
I do look healthy, but I actually have a chronic illness,
Oh, okay.
which weakens the connective tissue.
The what, sorry?
The connective tissue, the Bindegewebe.
Okay.
So the joints are much rather stable, much less stable than yours. So maybe earlier you had my
The crack.
crack.
Yeah, everyone heard it.
Everyone had it. So I suppose it was because of that. So
Okay.
my joints often crack, and my brother also has it. It's genetic, and sometimes his joints just dislocate. His shoulder dislocates, and he just has to put it in and continue his day, but it's painful.
Yeah.
I have a rather slight version of it. It's I'm lucky, but it comes with some difficulties. And for example, it's just I'm more flexible. For example, I can do
Can you
this.
compare?
You have to, yeah.
Okay, I'm not that flexible.
It's healthier that way,
Okay.
actually. So, and Aikido actually is sometimes difficult to deal with in that aspect, but it's actually also a help because I get to know my body very well. As I said before, I get a relaxed attitude about everything, or many things.
Yeah, everything.
I just get to know my body and know how it responds to which things. And for example, in these levels, what she did before with having a shoulder here and
Yeah.
putting pressure on the shoulder. Earlier, when you feel it's too much, you clap with your hand so the partner stops. And earlier, when I started Aikido, and many years actually, I clapped very hard, late, because everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're so flexible. You stand it so long. That's very impressive." So everyone was basically impressed by it, and it felt rather cool. But it's not healthy for my body, and I had to learn that. So because many doctors don't even know the illness, they don't even know the name. It's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. You bring your hands together to
Like a heart?
a bit, but rather a triangle, and you want to sit a bit more because our heads will
Yeah, right.
bang together. So, and in Japanese they say domo arigato.
Domo arigato.
Domo
Domo.
arigato.
Domo arigato.
And if you want to be even more polite, you say domo arigato gozaimashita.
Domo arigato gozaimashita.
Gozaimashita.
Ich hebe meinen Arm und was ich hier tue, ist, ich bin ganz klar auf der Achse zwischen uns. Ich hebe meinen Arm nicht irgendwie, sondern ich besetze den Raum zwischen uns. Das ist doch was wir beim Schwert ganz stark üben, dass der Raum schon mal dicht ist. Weil wenn ich das mache, erreicht er mich nicht mit der anderen Hand. Das funktioniert nicht, weil der Raum ist geschlossen. Wenn ich den Raum aufmache, erreicht er mich. Also ich schließe den Raum zwischen mir und meinem Partner. Das hat was mit Kampfkunst zu tun. Und dann mache ich die Bewegung, die wir da halt gemacht haben, und nehme ihn dabei mit. Und er ist auf dem Boden. Am Ende habe ich einen guten Abschluss, dass er nicht sofort wieder aufsteht. Und er macht das alles so, weil es sich ungeschützt anfühlt. So auf der Matte zu liegen. Ja, wenn er irgendwie anders liegen will, die Beine werden gestreckt, der Kopf auf der Stirn. Sieht auch schon von außen hübsch aus. Ne? Und er legt sich hin, sein Bein ist angewinkelt, weil dieses ist die erste Technik, die man lernt. Das ist ein sogenannter Ikkyo. Die nächste Technik wäre dann schon ein Hebel. Und da ist es für ihn extrem wichtig, so zu liegen, weil sonst, wenn er den Kopf auf der anderen Seite hat, ist die Nase schon mal weg, wenn ich mich mit meinen Knie dorthin bewege. Ne?
Hey, nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name is Denise.
Denise. When did you start with Aikido?
I started about 1.5 years ago.
Okay. And how did it affect your life so far?
I've got calmer, and I think I now know better what is good for me, what not. How do I feel about myself, or well, how do I feel about my body? Like I know what hurts and what doesn't hurt, and what I can do or not. I was a bit anxious in my life. Yeah.
And how did you start? Did you hear about it or read about it?
Well, first I am friends with Paul, so I knew Aikido from him, and also I thought it would be a good sport for my brother, and brought him here, and he was like, "Oh, it's nice to watch, but I don't want to do it." And I was like, "Oh my God, this was so good."
Okay, and how many times are you training?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Sometimes 2 times a week, but only in like holidays or vacation.
And are you always thrilled, or do you feel like skipping class sometimes?
Sometimes I want to skip, but it's mostly because I feel like exhausted, and then I'm like, no, I have to go. If I don't go, then it's gonna be harder the week after.
Yeah, that's great, because it gives you energy back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed, like I was so tired and exhausted when we came here, and now I feel so energized and
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go.
And sleep is better afterwards.
Hi, I'm Lais.
Hello, I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul. So when did you start it, and does anybody of your family members do Aikido as well?
Yes, so I started Aikido in 3rd grade, so about 13 years ago. And my mother actually recommended that to me because at the time I just quit swimming. I did that for a couple of years, and then afterwards I didn't do sport. And so my mom was like, "Hey, I found this. This might be fun for you." And so she brought me to the dojo, and then I started and didn't stop, basically. And now I'm here.
Cool. And do you know why you didn't quit coming to the classes here?
Well, because it was fun. I had a very brief period in my 7th grade where like life in general wasn't that good. So I also quit Aikido because everything was a lot back then. And so I quit it for half a year. But then that didn't help. So I came back and I got a lot better, both in doing Aikido and by doing Aikido. So it definitely helped me getting back on track afterwards. And that's also one good motivation that keeps me going, because going to training re-energizes me it's a lot of fun, and it's become a very, very big part of my life. Actually, I'm spending like 5, 6, 7 hours a week in the dojo, and then sometimes weekends. Yeah.
So you would also recommend people who are in trouble or who has a difficult time to come to Aikido to relax more, to meditate?
Definitely, I think it can be a very good way to deal with struggles that you have, because, well, firstly you get into moving alone, moving with people. Most importantly, like getting into connections with other people, and so I think if you're having a bad time, maybe try, and I think it might just work. For me, it did certainly. So.
And is there a reason why your mom gave you the opportunity to come to Aikido?
I think mostly because, well, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't doing any sports. I didn't move apart from like going to school, and so she wanted me to do something, and she found Aikido very fun because she did it at the time for like a year or a half, and so because one very big thing is I was very bad or didn't like competition, and because there is no competition in Aikido, she thought I might like it. And so she was like, hey, you could try this, no competition, just being with other people, not against other people. And so I think that was one of the big reasons why she thought I might like it.
Is she still doing the sports?
Yes.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Hello, so what's your name?
Hi, my name is Daniela.
Okay. And when did you start with Aikido?
About 6-7 years ago.
And why did you start?
Steven Seagal movies, The Walking Dead, a scene with the man with the stick who did Aikido against the dead. And a few years later, I didn't forget it. And I thought to myself, Aikido, I wanted to try it. I want to defend myself. I want to see what it is about. Because I liked Steven Seagal, and I liked The Walking Dead. I'm sorry. Sorry, Sensei.
Cool, so you got inspired by movies?
Yeah.
Especially, okay, cool.
Do you like him still?
He's a little brutal, and Aikido, it's not, I don't see it like that. There are different arts from Aikido, and the Aikido that I love is what my sensei does, and it is strong, it has power, but it is not like so aggressive.
So what means Aikido to you?
Like everything. When I started, I did Aikido once per week. And every time I had a hard day on work with the people, or like something else, just a shitty day, the whole day, and I couldn't relax or calm down. And then I get up, I go to Aikido, I do the 1 hour and 50 minutes. And after that, I'm just like,
chill.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It's. I must say, then it was far more than today. But today it's still calming me and has a little different effect on me. But also something that's I just need. It's better than a drug.
So
yeah.
You will do it to the end of.
Honestly, I know there are gonna be times where I'm gonna say I don't want to do it for a while. I did that a few times, but Aikido is something, when you're in it, you're in it. You're gonna come back, it's like family.
What is your favorite move or favorite, what do you call it? Technique? Yeah.
Kite no Toshi.
Okay. Is this one that we did today?
No.
Okay.
Because that's the only technique where I can freely and comfortable fall. Can we show them? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, actually, we can show it now if you want.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Emil.
Emil. Nice. And Lara, nice to meet you. How old are you?
I'm 16.
16.
Yes.
Okay, when did you start with Aikido?
Around the age of 6 to 7,
6
somewhere.
to 7.
Yes.
Okay, and I guess your parents put you in class, right?
Yep.
Did you like it from the beginning? Or was it like a bit
I can't
difficult?
really remember, but
Okay.
I guess so, yeah.
You guess? I mean, you stayed, right? Okay, so what's your favorite part about Aikido?
So what I like about Aikido is that it isn't your typical martial arts.
Yeah.
So it isn't about the fighting or the against each other, the competing. It's more about being together and like being in a connection with each other,
Yeah.
like moving with each other and not
Yeah.
against each other.
So then describe your passion for Aikido in one word, please.
Connection, I guess.
Connection.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. Anything else you want to tell the people about Aikido, or maybe something you want to inspire them to take a class or something like that?
So I think what I just said goes really well. That if you want to start with Aikido, you can always like. The meaning behind Aikido isn't to compete, so if you're searching for something, for sport, to just do and just be passionate about, and not to compete against each other or be good at something. Like, you can always be good at Aikido, but it isn't like to be the best. It is just about being in the moment, being in the flow, being with each other.
And is there a goal you have, like, I don't know, what kind of belt do you have right now?
So the second cue.
The second one. And is there a goal, any belt you want to have in the future?
So the Hakama was a big goal from the beginning.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that was a big goal. And of course the Dan can be a goal too.
For the people who don't know the grades, can you explain maybe the grades to us?
So there are 2 grades. So the Q and the Dan, and the Q gets counted from 5 to 1, and then you start with you get black belt, so the first Dan, and then you proceed to the second and third, etc.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm Mia. What's your name?
I'm Justin.
Hey, Justin. So I see you don't have a hakana. For how long have you been doing Aikido?
I'm a completely newcomer. I just started Aikido like 2 or 3 months ago, and I find it very amazing to do all the techniques and have fun and come here and chillax.
So you started very recently. So
Yeah.
what gave you the idea? Do you also have some friends that do it, or was it just random?
My best friend Luis is doing Aikido like I think 5 to 7 years now, and my other best friend is doing it for 1.5 years now, and they told me about it, how they go into Aikido and have their fun, and they asked me if I would like to try it. So one day I just decided to come here and try it, and yeah, found it really nice. So
your friends
I
also come to this dojo?
Yeah.
Okay,
they do.
like, so normally you guys also train together and
Yeah,
can
exactly.
enjoy the sport together.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Is there some of you who plan to go to Asia in the future? Which country? Japan?
Do you maybe want to do like a class trip with us?
Sure. That's going to be fun to organize for sure.
Definitely.
Aikido also includes weapon techniques, for example sword fighting. The impressive Pauline shows us more.
Whoa!
Okay, Pauline, do we maybe want to start off with the traditional greeting? Do you want to show me how?
Sure, like it's a whole process which I don't think I can do on my own. And we need to stand up, which is not that good for the microphone, so
Then
I
just
think,
say hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, how old are you?
I'm 15 years old.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but still you're such a strong woman, I'd say.
Thank you.
When did you start Aikido?
Not that long ago, I think 2.5 years ago maybe.
Yes.
I don't know the exact time, like after the COVID wave like back down, I started again.
Because you were already a strong personality back then and you wanted to express that, or because you wanted to do some self-growth?
I think I didn't really think about the personality growth aspect. I really just thought about that I wanted to get away from basketball, which I did before, and do something completely different. And because I already did like jiu-jitsu and judo when I was younger, I was like, okay, maybe I can try out Aikido and sword, what I'm doing now. Aikido wasn't that great for me personally. I liked the distance with the sword more, but I realized after 2 years that my personality really did grow, and I'm a lot more comfortable in myself and my body, and I have a more confident mindset.
So you prefer doing things on your own rather than in a team?
No, I wouldn't say that. I really like teamwork as well, but like I just grew more that I can like say for myself that even if there are no other people there, I can still do it and I can still manage to do it.
Do you only practice on yourself, like do some flexing or stretching, or do you really fight with the sword?
No, we really fight. We have like, it's a specific form that you need to hold. Like one person attacks, one defends, and it's the same. So it has like a rhythm to it, like Aikido does. But like you also can practice a lot for yourself in front of a mirror, practice your form, how find your center and yourself. So it's a bit of both.
Okay. Does it help you with your posture?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe I should try it then.
I also noticed in school, I have to sit straighter to really pay attention and everything else. So it really does help with my form.
And with the focus and everything?
Yeah, that is true as well. I noticed that I can focus more and for longer periods of time. I really struggled with that when I was younger.
Yeah. And what do your friends think about it? Because, I don't know, I'm not 15 anymore, obviously, but I was on my phone a lot, or just hanging with my friends, not doing a particular sport.
Yeah, no, my friends from school, for example, they're not into like the martial arts at all. Like I do that what you mentioned with them, but through Aikido and through sword, I found a lot of new friends.
Okay, so you have two personalities.
Not really two personalities, it's just like with those people I do that, and with the other people I do this.
Okay, I like that. You need different kinds of people.
That's true.
What is the technique called, the sport technique?
God. That's okay.
Japanese.
It was Kihondachi.
Kihondachi.
The basic form, first form Kihondachi.
What kind of forms are there?
We don't want to expose you.
Yeah. I think I'm doing this.
7 different.
7 different.
Series.
Yeah.
That's also called the Kashima Kenjutsu is the entire martial art, and there is 5 different or 7 different series in that martial art, of which they did the first one. Kihondachi is what they showed, and yeah, Kashima is the entire art of the sword.
Okay, so everybody does practice with the sword sometimes, or?
In normal Aikido training we do it sometimes, and there's a dedicated lesson on Fridays for Kashima.
Okay.
And do you have your own sword? Like a metal one?
No, not a metal one. I have 2 wooden ones, the one I practiced with now, or I showed it, and then I have a smaller one, like it's thinner. It's more like a katana.
Okay, but it's not a thing to decorate them or something? Because I would put some gemstones on them.
No, not really. Like sometimes we like carve names or initials in them to like show that is ours. I didn't do that with mine yet because they're relatively new. Like 2 years or 1.5 years. And I also can't do that on my own, but maybe I'll do that.
Maybe someone here can help you. Anyone who wants to.
So do you also use the thinner one in practice, or while they're
Yes. I do 2 different lessons, one on Tuesday and one on Friday, and the thinner one I use on Tuesday, and it's more of a beginner group, and then the Friday group is, I think, I would say more advanced because a lot of people that are more advanced are there, and then we use the thicker one, like the one you usually would use.
More force? Or
No, I wouldn't say more force. It's just like you have a different connection with the different swords, because the thinner one you normally use just to like practice like pulling your sword out and like the more of like the etiquette. You practice more of the etiquette with the thinner sword and the interaction with the thicker one, so you can have a better connection. So this is the...
Can I hold it? Can I see how?
Sure.
Okay.
It's not
that heavy actually.
Yeah, and this is a bit more heavy.
Okay.
So I actually prefer practicing my cuts and etiquette with this because it's just way lighter. It's much more comfortable. But this is like really good for like if you really go with practice with another person, because you really feel the connection, as I already mentioned. This is not mine. This is from.
I won't break it.
Yeah, here's the carving.
Yeah, what is that supposed to mean?
That's Aikido in the the Japanese kanji for Aikido.
Okay, it's supposed to be like this, I think. Oh, okay.
Is anyone here into the Japanese history, like samurai and stuff?
It's,
Yeah.
yeah. I've also been to the Samurai Museum before.
yeah, we're also going.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah?
Enjoy.
And Paulina, did you know that like back then it was not allowed to women to practice with the katana?
I did figure it out because women were not allowed to do a lot back then, but I think it's very important that we do that now to show that we don't live in the past anymore and we as a society are moving forward.
Yeah.
And even with old stuff, we can change it and make it new, like if we add new aspects. For example, more women doing it now.
Yeah, beautiful set.
Do you also learn how to take a sword or a knife off your Gegner?
Yes, I personally didn't do that yet, but like it was mentioned that in later series it has been done, like that you hold your sword, like this, and then other person grabs in the middle and then takes it from you, and then you don't have a sword anymore, which is not that great, but then the kata is over anyway, so.
And were you ever in a situation where you had to defend yourself?
Not with a sword, definitely not.
You don't carry it? Where you go?
No, I wish I could, but like with confidence and mentally, obviously, like it helps me if I walk late at night home, for example. There's some shady people out there, and it already helps with confidence. If my learned confidence, I can use that to just be like, okay, it's not going to be bad, it's going to be fine, I can get home, I know how to like, what to do if something happens. It's just like the confidence boost you get.
I just wanted to say it's so impressive. You as a 15-year-old girl, like is already, or a woman, is already mentioning those values that it brings you or the benefits. I think you became mature.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think would happen if the whole world would learn Aikido and practice it every week?
Peace on earth. That would be peace on earth, probably.
Domo?
Domo arigato gozaimasu.
Domo arigato gozaimasu.
Nearly. You'll learn.
I learn. I practice. I have to come back then for practice.
Unfortunately, Francisca Vandewalle is currently unable to train due to an injury, but she hardly misses any class. In our talk she tells us why.
My name is Francie.
Francie, how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
19 years, that's so young still. So we see you're wearing an Aikido suit. When did you start with Aikido?
I started Aikido like 11 or 12 years ago when I was around 7 to 8 years old.
That is super early.
Yes.
So it became part of your life already?
Already, yes. Since I've been doing this, most than half of my life, I think it's safe to say that it has become a pretty big part of my life throughout the years.
Wow. And how often are you training during a week?
But for me, it's quite difficult because I'm suffering from a chronic disease, which doesn't allow me to train regularly because I often have periods or episodes where the illness is becoming stronger or where I have a phase where I'm not feeling very well. It's affecting my knee in first place, and then it's at this moment it's that I haven't been able to train for like a year because I was in too much pain and my doctors didn't allow me to. But when I'm able to, I'm trying to go 1 to 2 times a week if I'm allowed to.
Did you miss the training a lot?
Yes, very much, because since in this period of time where I haven't been able to train regularly, I had also pretty big changes in my life because I finished school, I started studying, and I'm working full-time because I'm studying dual. So
What are you studying for?
I'm studying midwifery.
Oh, wow.
So I'm becoming midwife, which means that in the phases where I'm not in the theory, I'm working full-time in the hospital.
But that's a job where you have to be really calm as well, no?
Yes, and this is often because I'm working in a hospital which is like level 1, where there's often a lot of, not the most beautiful situations and scenarios of birth, where I'm also like, going to Aikido after like a stressful day or a stressful birth experience could really help to calm down.
But do you come every week to just listen what they
It depends. It's often when my friends, because throughout the years I got really close with many of the people training with. I trained with a lot of people since the age of 7, 8 years old. So it really became also part of my little family, really close friends. So I often miss seeing them very much. So when they're like training on Saturday or Sundays, when they have a workshop or something like this, I try to come when they're finishing to like spend at least a little bit of time with them.
Inhale the energy.
Yes,
okay.
Totally.
And is there something you're doing now, since you can come or train that hard, like meditation or anything to be calm?
It's fun because when I'm having a stressful day or when I'm just facing a very stressful situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need to calm down now, I just close my eyes and I imagine myself being in the dojo and just breathing in, breathing out, imagining the surrounding of the dojo, the smell of the dojo, and it just like already helps me calming down a little bit.
Wow, that's great. And are you also like train the moves at home, like in front of the mirror by yourself?
Or with your friends when you meet up? Is it like a dojo meetup?
I won't say that. It's often when you kind of, I don't know, if you're shopping somewhere and you're seeing yourself in the reflection of something, you're like, and you tend to like pose a little bit or do some little kind of movements, but I often do not really find the time to really go in front of my mirror and take, I don't know, a sword out or just myself being and doing Aikido. So I really like this kind of safe place here to like do this and to really just be able to focus on this.
Okay, great. Yeah, talking about the sword. Yeah. So you're also practicing with the sword sometimes?
Yes, sometimes.
Like when you're able to?
Yes, for us, it was always like the highlight a little bit when we got to train with the sword or with the knives and everything, because it was often, or the plan was often that we have one scheduled time in a month. So the first training in the month is considered to be a sport or a knife training. So we always got very excited about that, especially when I was a little bit younger. It was always like the special training of the month, but I enjoy doing both.
That's great. And have you ever thought about like traveling and train at the same time to do maybe like a camp at the temple or so?
Yeah, Nikki told me about it. She has found something.
I did an exchange in Paris when I was like in 9th grade, and there's a very big sensei. I don't know if you know his name, probably not, but his name is Christiane. And he has his like big dojo where he trains with all of his students in Paris. And when I got into Paris, I also knew a friend from this dojo here who was studying in Paris, and I was really thinking about visiting her, but our times.
Oh, it's a she? Also not a friend.
My friend is a she, and the sensei is a man. Okay. So I really would have liked to go visit her or go with her. But the time schedule at that time didn't allow me, so yeah, well, that didn't work.
There still have to be like some goals or to-dos on your list, right?
Yeah, of course.
Bucket list.
I think my brother also mentioned this later. It was always the hakama when I was little. It was like the big thing to achieve, and when I got to get my hakama to put it on for the first time, I actually never have put on a hakama before owning my hakama, so it was like
the hakama is the
black belt and the black belt, not the black skirt.
Okay.
And it's since I was little, it was also always the sign for the ones who were doing it very well, and for not the newcomers. And it was always like the girl I was looking up to, because it was also a pretty visible change. And getting it and be able to wear it was like the most special feeling ever.
How long is that ago?
I think 1.5 to 2 years ago.
And it means that you can teach others?
No, it just means that you have reached a certain level of Q, and yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to that.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a big achievement.
Looks pretty fashionable, actually. Yeah. Do you wear it outside or just in the
I
dojo?
wish to. I have thought about this, to be honest, but for us it's also like kind of respect thing to not wear the things you're wearing in the dojo outside, because as you probably saw, it's also like you're going on the mat with your face and with your feet, and it's kind of a respect thing that you're going with clean clothes where you haven't been sitting with in Jesban or so before. So this is really like just the special thing for a very special kind of doing.
Like celebration.
Yeah.
It's so interesting while being like in the train room or in the dojo with all of you, you could feel like this different energy right away. And even talking to you, like I noticed there is like this calm energy that also...
Yeah, I had like a aha moment when I was littler, because when I was little it was, I'm doing this because my mom brought me here and it's kind of fun. I know a lot of guys here, but I had one moment when I think I was 10 to 11 years old, and it was on the morning of the day where I had the lesson to level up to get another belt, and I was waking up with immense pain in my lower back, and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot go. I was so sad, but I did end up going, and I entered the mat and I sat down and the pain was gone. And I was able to achieve everything, to like do the lesson in the full 4 to 5 hours. And the moment I stepped out of the mat, like I set one foot off the mat, the pain instantly came back, and it was like such an aha moment, which, well, opened to me, or did open my eyes to what magic everything about this dojo and being on the mat is to me. Yeah.
Wow. So you just mastered your pain.
Yeah, I think I just also mastered so kind of my peace and holding everything together and being able to like shut down everything that's going on beside in your head and everything that's in your life, and you're just going on the mat and being on the mat, being yourself and not really thinking about everything else or anything else, and the movements, the Aikido. And I think that's what makes it so special for me.
Yeah.
That's super inspiring.
Do you do something else like that? Yoga, for example, or meditation that helps you centering and focusing on your goals, on yourself?
I have to be honest, I have been swimming for a long time. I have tried a little bit of things, but never been able to find something that really gives me what Aikido gives me. It is like peace and well-being. And for me, it's also Aikido is not just on the mat. Aikido is like, for me, a philosophy that I take in my daily life. And I can also, the philosophy of Aikido, I can also project it on my own life. It's like, when someone comes to you with a lot of force, you're not trying to resist this force with your own force. You're trying to like use the force and to like do it in another movement without giving resistance, and to use it to your own benefit. And I think that's helped me a lot in life, also with my chronic illness, that I was always like, everything that comes, I could take this and like just center the energy, also when it's bad energy, to like make it the best possible outcome. And I think this is the philosophy and the thinking of the life and things happening that just really changed my mindset and also helped me to think a lot positive about a lot of things.
That is really heart-touching and inspiring to hear that. Like, you're so young still, and to have such wisdom is just, amazing. And since you are one of that strong women we are looking for, do you have an advice for all the strong women in the world in general?
In general, I think that being yourself and finding for yourself who you are and who you want to be is like the first step to being able to really standing behind who you are and gaining the confidence, because once you know this, you're also gonna be able to like really stand behind this and be able to grow the force and grow everything that you want to achieve. And I think that this is also a thing that Aikido has given me a lot, because you know what you can do and you're like confident about yourself. And it's not, when you're confident about yourself, I think it also gives you a kind of aura where everyone else can see. I say, when I'm outside in the night and I see someone which I'm not quite sure about, I just like go like this and I go like this, and I just have the impression that it always helped me a little bit. When people see you being very confident, they tend to not like go straight up to you, because they're like a little bit intimidated already when you're really standing and making a point of you being confident and not caring. And I think that this is also something that could help a lot.
Yeah, that's great. But it seems like you're still doing Aikido, even though you're on a break, but since it's also like a mental kind of work, and you are like expressing the world, your aura, to protect yourself, to defend yourself.
Yeah.
So you never stop doing Aikido anymore.
Yeah, I think one of my teammates just mentioned that like in her interview, that once you start Aikido and once you really get into this philosophy, way of thinking, way of doing things, you never stop. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you learn it, you never get rid of it. And I think this is something that when Aikido is something you really take into your heart and leave it there, and even if you're not doing that, it's kind of a part of you and which cannot be taken away from anyone.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
I feel like this lesson today we got already sticks with us.
Right. Yeah. I feel so energized.
inspiring.
Like I said before, like we already had a hard, long day and everyone was feeling a little tired, and now everyone is just smiling and eyes are shining. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is often, especially when you're going into the later lessons, when you go like at 7 p.m. or something like this, you're always seeing people coming from work, coming from school, being really stressed out, really, and I often was, was it really the best choice to go here after this long day? But after it, you like just feel so much open and refreshed and relaxed. And even if it just helps you to sleep better afterwards because you have done something, you're exhausted, and you're also cleared your mind a little bit. I think this is a thing that is very, very special to a lot of our guys.
True. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, for your nice words, for your wisdom and inspiration, like everything. We learned a lot.
Yes, definitely. And yes. I feel so inspired, and good luck with your knee.
Thank you. Yeah, you can, all the best.
Yeah, that you can soon end your break.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward.
Get back on the mat.
Yes.
Thank you.